So we've talked about the idea of this quiz, and I think I need to go through some more of the details. So as a demonstration here, I've signed into replit.com. If you can't get Python running on your home computer, Replit is the answer. It saves your work for you. You do need to keep backing it up, so Control-C and Control-V somewhere else. But this is a good way to just do Python without having to worry about anything else. So what I have here is a quiz. I have written a quiz. It is a single question, hard-coded quiz. I use an input statement to get some input from the user, and using an if statement to check whether they got it right or wrong. And you can see I've run it over here. Is the moon made of cheese? No, that is incorrect. Right. There are some inadequacies with this, so let's go through them. Firstly, it's only one question. Well, easy you say. Control-C and Control-V, and then we can do another question. How many beans make 5? And if the answer equals, oh, I've got it the wrong way around here, haven't I? If answer equals 5 is the only thing to do, but I don't want that to be incorrect. So I'll swap that around. That's right, you're so clever. And put that up there, which is just highlighting, as much as anything, the importance of really thinking things through before we get too deep into it. Now, so we can carry on doing this. You will get not achieved if you just give me a program that looks like this, because it's just not using sophisticated enough programming techniques. We can add stuff into this. I would expect, for instance, people would do a score. So that's a straightforward idea. Score equals 0. And if answer equals yes, which is this one, score plus equals 1, score plus equals 1, and then down here, right at the very end, print your score is %s %score, typical formatting thing. You know what I should put in here as well is I should put in some questions, some comments I mean. So questions, and then final score. And let's run that. So is the moon made of cheese? No, this is testing. It's important to do testing. How many beans make 5? Did I get that wrong? That is incorrect. Anyway, how many beans make 5? I'm going to say 5. That's why you're so clever. My score is 0. It did not work, did it? Because I put the score plus or equals 1 in the wrong place, and so on. So this is why we do testing. And this is actually a super important part of this particular standard, is to do testing and to take screenshots. So for example, right now I could take a screenshot of this. So I could go into probably my snipping tool, and I can say do a new snip, and I can, all I need is a screenshot of this, and I can say here's my testing. I answered the questions correctly, and I got both of the answers. Well, that first answer came up as incorrect when the answer was actually correct, and the second answer I said I was right, which is good, but my score hasn't gone up by 1. So then we can fix that. So I will fix that. Control X, Control V, good. And if answer equals, I'm going to go with make life easier. That's incorrect. Otherwise, that's so clever. So let's go again. So is the moon made of cheese? No. That's right, you're so clever. How many beans make 5? 5. Score is 2. So then you take another screenshot, and then you can say the kind of thing that I would expect you to say is this was my testing of my initial version. I found some bugs and then fixed it, and this is my testing to show that I'd fixed those bugs. And to be honest, not that interested in what the actual bugs are, so don't do that, but just give me information about what testing you actually did. Anyway, we're still at a position where this is a fairly inadequate kind of program, very much not achieved, just because it's copy and pasted the questions, it's all hard coded into the text, and we've got some problems going forward. Well, the person using this is always going to see the same questions in the same order. That's a bit rubbish. We could improve that. and the validation of the answers is not very exciting. So we've just got this answer equals yes. So if I run it and say yes, it says that's right, you're so clever. See the capital Y, yes. So there's a thing going on here that we would need to think about how can we resolve that. The easiest way you can say is to, or one of the easiest ways to do that. So that turns it all to lowercase, and then you're checking to see if the lowercase version of what they typed in is equal to yes. That would resolve that problem there, but it doesn't resolve the issue of if they type in Y or a whole bunch of other things. So it's an important part of this particular assessment is the validation of their entry. I'll talk about that another time, I think, but not right now. Can't do everything in one video, can we? We could also do a multi-choice. So, you know, we could say, right, answer equals input. How many beans make 10? Question mark. And then we could do another print statement. Actually, let's do this a different way around. So, how many beans make 10? I'm going to do it as print that. So it's not just going to wait at that line. And I'm going to say print A is going to be 4. Is that the right way around to do a new line? I think it is. And then B is going to be 7. What is the correct answer here, by the way? Slash N. I've forgotten what I put in. Make 10. And C is going to be 10. So C is the correct answer. That's a bit gibberishy, isn't it? I need to put some spaces in there. I'm not sure I got that slash around on the ends. Let's run it. Here's the thing for testing as well. Like, I want to test just this question. I want to just test this little bit here. Now, in order to get down to here, I've still got to run through these two, which is a pain. So one thing that I regularly see people do is they do those 3 speech marks and then 3 speech marks, and that's this kind of long comment thing. We don't use, we should use these for documentation, but and it basically means that this code is not going to run. So all of this lot here is not going to run, but this is. Let's run it. Oh, I was running anyway. Run. Okay. How many beans make 7? It looks like that slash is the wrong way around, so let's change that. I always do that. All these years. Let's run it again. Yeah, that's better. So you see the slash n does the new line thing, just makes it a bit neater. And now this score is over. So then I can say, right, answer equals input your answer, maybe. Something like that. And if answer equals C score plus equals 1 and print you great. You great. You great, man. Right, so what do we do from here? Let's take those comments out because I've finished testing that bit now. So the big issue here really is data structures. You know, everything is hard coded at the moment and there's no loop. If I want to add another question or want to modify anything about this, I have to go into the program and copy and paste some code. And if I find later on that I need to change something, I'd probably have to change it in multiple different places. So a typical kind of thing that you would do is right at the top, you're going to have like a list. Questions equals, and you're going to decide what goes in there. Okay. The format of what goes in there is an interesting question. You know, are you going to also have a separate list of answers? You can do that. That's fine. You know, you basically have the first question matches up with the first answer, the second question matches up with the second answer, and so on. And that would be quite straightforward. And then you can just loop through the questions, compare to the answers, and you're good. I'm going to probably talk about that in a later video, but not right now. Some of you may say, well, I can do something a bit more sophisticated than that. The very specific problem with this is, again, you get all the same questions in the same order. In a perfect world, what we'll have is 100 questions and you pick 10 at random out of those. But it's going to be quite hard to pick. Well, it's not impossible to pick 10 questions from the 2 different arrays. You just use the number, wouldn't you? Create a random number, say 7, and then it's the 7th item in the questions list and the 7th item in the answers list, and it all matches up. That works. Anyway, I kind of I want to get going and write the rest of the program and so on, but this is an assessment of you, not me. But I think that at that point I've given you perhaps a bit of a start, and you can get into it. Either working in Visual Studio, in Replit, and you can make something that kind of looks a bit like a quiz, which is our first version, which we can then improve. All right, hope that's helpful.